Toastmaster Hecker, and this is my icebreaker speech. If at first you don't succeed, get back up and try again. That's something my grandfather's been telling me since I was a little kid. And ever since he's been telling me that, I've been living that. If I don't get something the first time, I get back up and I try it again. I try it different ways, maybe the same way a few times. It doesn't matter. I always try again because I don't want to go against what my grandfather said because I respect him. And living that out through my life, seeing through everything, it's really worked for me because whether I fail or not, I still got up and did it again. But for me, what the main thing is I believe in faith or destiny, kind of like things here don't happen for, no, things just don't happen. There's always a reason behind everything. And the reason I believe that is because, first of all, I'm adopted from Russia. And I was adopted at the age of 1 year old. And my mother, the reason she had to adopt, because she lost the ability to have kids. And so, as she's going through the process of getting me adopted, believe it or not, the Pope of Russia goes around once a year to orphanages and blesses one child from each orphanage. And at mine, it just so happened to be me. And the problem is with that is Russian parents get the first right to adoption. And so when she saw that, she thought, I'm about to lose my baby boy. She said, I'm about to lose the kid that God has sent me, that I was supposed to adopt. But I didn't get adopted, and I ended up in her arms. So that's the first part. Then after that, I got back. They were in the United States, and the whole plane ride, I've been quiet, but as soon as we got off the plane, everything apparently, I was crying. But we got to my grandparents' house, and my mother hands me to my grandfather, and she hands him to me, and immediately my face lights up. And they took a picture of that, and it sits in his office, and he tells me that he knew from that moment that we were destined to be together. Now from there, as life goes on, my parents got a divorce when I was in kindergarten. I didn't really understand it, but I kind of had to at the same time because I could see it was tearing my mom apart, that my dad was seeing other women and doing that kind of stuff. And so at a young age, I had to be there for my mom because it was my mom and my sister. There was no one else in the house. So growing up, I had to do that. I had to emotionally stay stable for her, even though I didn't really understand what was going on. And after my dad remarried, he remarried to a woman that had, stepkids, everything. They weren't exactly nice. But, nothing's ever easy in the world. We went through that. My sister and I made it through that. And being there, going through that, it wasn't easy, but I learned a lot of stuff. I learned how to deal with people. I learned how to talk to people, figure out why things are going on wrong. I learned how to be able to see someone because every time I'd look at the step family and I'd see something, they were doing something, I knew they were planning something. So I can look at someone sometimes and I can tell what's going on in their mind. So that's one thing I picked up. But then going through that, talking to my grandfather and going through high school, people started asking me, well, what do you want to do now? Like you're halfway through high school, where do you want to go? And I sat around and I thought about it for a little bit. And I asked my grandfather, I was like, Papa, where'd you go to college? And he just said, I went to the Citadel. And I was like, that's the place you've been telling me all these stories about? He goes, yes, it is. And I go, well, I'll give it a check. So I pre-nobbed, I did that. We have some pre-nobs in here. And I honestly, people kept telling me, don't do it, you're going to hate it. And I mean, of course, it's not the best thing being a knob. It's really not. We all know that. We've all been through it. And I'm still going through it. Some of us in here are still going through it. But it's like, we're putting up with it because we're strong, though. Because we've all been through stuff in our lives that have bettered us off for it. But as going through it, I get here. And now I'm still in the process of still figuring out. But before that, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I thought, will I even go to college? Am I even going to get a job? I don't know, because really all my life, I was adopted into a pretty wealthy family. I never really had to do much, but coming here was the one decision that I thought was like, you know what, this is what's really going to make me me. This is the place where I'm going to make friends for life, and this is the place that's really going to put me all together, and that's going to carry on through the rest of my adulthood, and it's going to build me up to be someone like my grandfather was. And so being here now, I'm still thinking about going into sales and everything, but I'm still trying to figure out my path though. But going through everything and seeing all the stuff that I've been through, nothing happens like by accident. I didn't pick to come here by accident. I think my grandfather going here and him inspiring me to be here, that wasn't an accident. And so, while I'm still figuring everything out, something's going to happen in the end, whether it's I come to success or I fall. But regardless, you know, it's good. That's it.